Hi there, I'm currently on the bus right now. So this is the bus that is taking me back to the airport. And then after that, I'll go to Switzerland. So I'm going back to Switzerland and I've really had some very nice experiences here, especially being able to see my parents. That was the most precious thing, being able to see them and spend time with them, especially my mother. But still a bit sad to see my father so ill. I had to leave him there in bed. Yeah, but well, at least I could be there during those times. Well, that's family. As you might have seen on the internet, if you haven't seen it, then you absolutely must go see it. I was able to meet my friend Benito. He's a friend I'd known at the beginning. When I first became a believer, I was 15 or 17, and he was just the same as today. Always a boundless fire for Jesus. A whole heart. And I think if you go watch his videos on YouTube, you'll see it for yourself. It's wonderful, you know. It's like a landscape. I don't know how to say it. You just say, wow. Years have passed, he still has the same love for Jesus, and it's uncompromising. So we did 3 testimonies and well, that's it. But we did them in French and in Spanish. It still took me 8.5 hours of time. Well, yes, it takes time. You wouldn't think so, right? I was quite tired, but a good kind of tired. Happy to have been able to leave this for the world. Because Benito has never made videos on any network or anything like that. And all the wonders he's experienced, well, there you go. I'm the one showing them to you. Now, I haven't seen all the wonders, no, because he's experienced so many other things. Lots of testimonies, quite powerful testimonies. I'd say he has a gift there regarding... I've often witnessed the elements of nature themselves intervene in remarkable ways whenever he prayed. The weather would sometimes change dramatically, storms would suddenly stop, and other extraordinary things like that would happen. I'll have the opportunity to talk more about it in a future book called Meeting in the Forest, Origin 2. Yeah. So after leaving Switzerland, I had taken a small amount of pocket money with me for the journey, and in addition to that, I had carefully put 200 euros in my bag, just in case I needed it later on. Except when I got home, well, I couldn't find them anymore. I couldn't find them, I looked for them. And then I got into a real state because I couldn't find them, you know. Sorry, because the camera's shaking a lot, I'm holding it by hand. Wait, maybe if I set it down like this, yeah. I couldn't find them, and I thought, oh man, it's not possible, 200 euros in my situation is a lot. I can't lose that, and I searched, I went through my things and nothing worked, and I thought to myself, could it perhaps be that I lost them on the plane? And it made me feel bad, you know. I stayed with some friends, I asked them if they'd seen it, and then they told me, but of course, if we'd seen it, we would have told you. I mean, I hope I didn't make things awkward, but anyway, I was feeling really bad, just not myself at all. And then, at the same time, it's actually pretty typical of the kinds of things that tend to happen to me from time to time, honestly. And then, in those moments, those difficult and confusing moments, I go to God and I say, well, I'm truly sorry for being so disorganized, for not having things together, for letting things get out of hand. How is it that I lost this money? And then afterwards I question myself, I say to myself, but how is it that you're asking me to be responsible for the workshop or the RCE when I lose such simple things, and you question yourself. And I asked God, well, could you help me find them? There, but then I said to myself, well, you are the one who provides. I don't want to make a whole big fuss about this money. Because it's true. It's true that sometimes it's not worth it. You always have to remember that God is rich. That's something we have a hard time thinking about. And that we aren't children of someone poor, we are the children of a king when we believe in God. And then, well, so I was there. I wasn't thinking about that money anymore. But when it was time to leave Benito, we'd spent the whole day together filming talking, you know, all that. And then, he says to me, here's 200 euros. I say, but why are you giving me 200 euros? Well, I wanted to give you 100 euros, and the Lord just told me inside of me, no, give him 200. And it touched me that the Lord told him that, because it's the amount that I had lost. I told him, well, you really didn't have to do that, you know. But anyway, he said, no, I obey the Lord, and I found that to be truly extraordinary, honestly, there. So yesterday, last night, with my parents, I was sitting at the table, drawing pictures with them, just spending some time together, enjoying the moment. Well, I draw while they watch TV, the news and all that, and I'm drawing. My mother said to me, oh, please don't forget your bag. I replied, what bag? I have all of my things in my room. She said, the one right there in the living room. And then suddenly it all came back to me. I had put that bag down. As soon as I arrived in the living room and the rest in my room, and that's why I couldn't find it anymore, because in my head I had everything in the room. And I found my money, the 200 euros. And I remarked to myself, but Lord, why did you tell Benito to give me 200 euros when I was going to find them the very next day? Why did you do that? And I saw something of God's generosity. The Lord saying, you asked me, I give it to you, and He gives in abundance. And then I started to really think about the workshop, and I realized that it's actually missing something important about 200,000 euros to pay everyone's salaries and all that. Yeah, a bit more, but well, it doesn't matter. And then I said to myself, but for you, it's not a problem. And it gave me the courage to say to myself, but yes, God knows, and He is generous. And that for Him, 100,000 or 200 or 1 million, 200 million, it's all the same. It's something difficult to wrap your head around, because especially for someone like me who is always so careful with savings and everything, it's really something to learn how to live while knowing that you are in abundance. Anyway, just a little testimony like that. If you ever speak Spanish, then don't hesitate to also check out my Spanish channel, Alain Auderset-English. It's pronounced España, but in Spanish it's written like this, España. And then you'll be able to see exactly the same testimony as before, but this time it might be presented in a way that is even more detailed and thorough. So please don't hesitate at all. It's really, truly good and definitely worth your time. He testifies, he preaches, he quotes verses, he reads you entire passages there. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. If you know Spanish, go check it out too. I was able to record the testimony of Jose Luis Ardias, who's a pastor from here who agreed to make a video in Spanish. So we couldn't do it in French because he doesn't speak French. So what I'd really like to tell you is that I've actually been going to this church for quite a few years now. Well, I go whenever I'm here. So I come to Spain for 2 weeks every time, but there you go, faithfully, year after year, once or twice. Anyway, I was in the church, and then I met this pastor. At first he was thinking, hey, who's this? Why? Then I shared a bit about everything I was doing. Yeah, so sometimes I don't know, you see, he's suspicious and, well, I don't know. And I'm suspicious myself, I think. But what kind of church is this here?